Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial at Meghan Grace DIY. For today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how I use something called heat and bond to create lettering and appliques. I've been using this technique for years, and it's a really awesome way to create banners and lettering and any kind of images out of fabric. But before we go any further, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna tell me that, Meghan, there's this thing out there called the Cricut, and the Cricut can do everything that you're gonna show us much easier and much faster. And you would be 100% right with that statement. The Cricut is an awesome machine that you can put vinyl in, and you can use it to cut out lettering or other types of things for crafts. And there's no doubt that the Cricut is an absolutely amazing machine. But one of the drawbacks is it's pretty darn pricey. They range from about $150 on the low end to $400 on the high end. So in this video, I'm gonna show you my little hack that I use to create lettering and any kind of appliques that I need without using a Cricut. So if you're looking to not invest in a very nice piece of machinery right now, or just doing a one-time project, this is a great technique for you. For today's demonstration, I'm actually gonna show you how I would put somebody's name onto a purse. And this isn't just any purse, this is actually the custom-made bag for the winner of our 500 sub giveaway. So from one Meghan to another Meghan, thank you so much for being a subscriber. I really appreciate it. So to get started, you're gonna need to print out whatever word or name you're looking to put on your project. This is gonna serve as your stencil, so you wanna make sure that it's the right size. You're gonna need to cut out each of the letters. If there's any repeat letters, you only need to cut that letter once, like the A in Meghan. Now I know cutting out such small letters can be a little bit difficult. It's a lot easier if you're doing a banner or something that's on a larger scale. So what I'd recommend if you're doing a small name is to stick to a chunkier font that's going to be easier for you to cut. And if there's any parts of the letters that are a little bit too tricky for me to get with regular paper scissors, I go ahead and I use some nail scissors. Alrighty, so here's my stencil all cut out, and as I said before, I only needed to cut A once because I can use the stencil over and over again. To prep for the next step, I already took a small piece of heat and bond and I pressed it onto the back side of the fabric that I want to use for my letters. If you've never used heat and bond before, this is what the package looks like, and you can get it at Walmart or Joann Fabrics or even online on Amazon. Its basic function is a craft adhesive that heats up with an iron. I personally really love heat and bond. I think it has a lot of really great uses, and I think once you try it, you'll fall in love with it too. Once we've got the piece of heat and bond ironed onto the fabric, we have a paper side facing us, and this is really going to be helpful here. This is where you can draw whatever shapes you want to make to put on your bag. So you're going to see me here actually tracing out each letter, but this could be done with any kind of shape. You could do it with flowers, with your own freehand drawing, with basically anything that you can draw onto the paper you can cut out and make an applique of. So at the beginning of this video, I showed you guys an image of a banner that I did of a firehouse logo. And how I made that was I took the firehouse logo and I actually projected it onto a wall that I had hung some poster paper on. And I drew out all of the different stencils that put that whole banner together, and then broke it down into little tiny pieces and cut it out in the different color fabrics, and then basically built the shapes back together to create the banner. One of the most important things to remember when you're tracing your stencils is that you're looking to get a mirror image. So my letters are actually flipped over and backwards. And you have to do it this way because you're gonna end up peeling the paper off and then flipping over the letter, so you wanna make sure it's facing the right direction. I know you're probably watching this thinking this process seems very tedious, but it's actually kind of relaxing. And the more you do it, the faster you get at it. So it's actually like a pretty great technique to use. But let's go ahead and skip to the part where the tracing's all done and we're ready to go ahead and cut out our letters. Our next step is to go ahead and cut the letters out. That paper backing actually really helps with cutting the letters out. It gives the fabric some body and it allows you to control your scissors better. And as you guys can see at the top, I have my little nail scissors there. And what I'm gonna use those for is cutting out the center of the letters like the A, the G, and the E. What I usually do is I fold the letter in half and I make a little slit in the fabric, and then I cut the circle outwards. And that saves me from cutting the circle too big on the first shot. There we go. Now our letters are all cut out. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna peel the paper off the back of the letter. You want to make sure that the glue is sticking to the letter. If it seems like the glue is peeling away from the fabric, go back to the iron and press the letter again before you peel the paper off. I decided I wanted to give my letters a little extra pop by adding a white background. So now I've got a second piece of fabric with heat and bond on the back, and I'm going to go ahead and press my letters down onto that fabric. We're pressing it onto the front. I'm going to place a press cloth over the letters so none of them get like bunched up under the iron. That can happen sometimes. And you're going to press with high heat for about 30 seconds. After removing my press cloth, I'm just going to double check all my letters and make sure that they're properly adhesed onto the fabric, which it looks like they are. Now we're going to move on to our last cutting step, which is cutting each letter out with a white border. When you're cutting letters out like this and making these borders, the big thing to remember is you just want to make sure it's even. You can kind of follow any style you want, but just make sure that border is the same width all the way around and it'll look really good. So I left the two A's cut in a bit of a different style just to kind of show you that it'll throw your eye off if it's not the same way for each letter. So if you have doubles of a letter, just double check them next to each other and make sure that you style them the same way. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna curve right around the A, so that way it's gonna match the other A in the name. There, that really does look a lot better. Before we're ready to go ahead and put the name onto the bag, I go ahead and just do one final check. I'm gonna clean up any little rough edges like I saw here on this A and make sure that my letters are as perfect as I can make them. Don't drive yourself too crazy. And then we're gonna go ahead and peel that paper away just like we did in the first step. Now we're gonna place the name on the bag. You only get one shot at ironing it on, so you want to make sure that you put it in the perfect place. I'm going to measure the width of the bag, and then I'm going to mark the center with a pin, so that way I know where the center of my word needs to go. Once I've got my center marked, I'm going to go ahead and find out which letter is in the center, so I count real quick. Okay, it's the G, and I'm going to place that under the pin. And then I'm going to go ahead and place the other letters around the G. Right now I've got the word straight across the bag, but I want to add a little bit of an arc, so I'm going to just go ahead and gently bend my letters down. Okay, I've got my letters exactly where I want them. I'm going to go ahead, take the pin out, and I'm going to put the press cloth back on top of the letters, and I'm going to go ahead and press them down with a high heat for 30 seconds. And once your letters are pressed, you're all done. And now you've got a really cool personalized gift to give to a friend or family member. Using heat and bond to create appliques is a really great way to add a little special touch to a gift or to create your own personal works of art. And don't worry, I've got another tutorial coming to show you how I applied the rhinestones. That wraps up today's tutorial. I hope you found it interesting and easy to follow. Thank you again for stopping by Meghan Grace DIY. If you'd like to help my channel keep growing, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to get more information about giveaways, please feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at the same moniker, Meghan Grace DIY. And lastly, if there's any tutorials you're looking for, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Happy crafting, everybody!